Welcome to Radio Fixer's channel. Subscribe for upcoming videos. Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of restoring Kent's 402 metal tube radio. In this part, we're going to discuss about installing a new capacitors inside the old paper capacitors. Then we're going to install the 3 new large capacitor inside the old can. We're going to replace the speaker wire insulation. Also, we're going to repair the speaker cone. Usually I like to restore radios to as close to original as possible. So I know it's much simpler to install with the new capacitors, and it's much simpler to take less time. But I like to keep all this radio as original as possible, so the next person, next generation, when they look at it, they get the same type of feeling that I had the first time I looked at under the chassis. I like to see all the paper capacitors and everything as close to original. So that is usually how I enjoy restoring the radio. Majority of them, that's the way I restored. I know there's, you might say, there's nobody going to look at under the chassis, so does it really matter going through all this time and do all this work? To me, again, I want to bring it as close to original as possible. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video and you all have a great day. What we're going to do, I'm going to remove one capacitors at a time. I don't want to take all of them out, and it's pretty hard to remember where to put them back. It's much easier if I do it one at a time. I will show you the process that I am taking to do this. Of course, you use one of this clipper, a very small clipper, and you're going to clip here. Okay, this came loose. Now I'm going to do the other side as well. Make sure just cut the right wire. All right, so now I know where actually it needs to go, right? Because it just took one out. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to use this casing and put a new capacitor inside. Walk you through the process. This is a screwdriver screw in the middle of the capacitors. Okay, so we take one side out. Now I'm going to work on the other side. Just going to keep it a little bit to inside get warm up. And after feeding out the other side, it pulled out. This is inside. It pulled out totally. It came out. So this was right inside here that I just pulled it out. Alright. The inside is totally empty. You can see. So I'm going to install the new capacitor inside. Okay. Just going to show you how I usually pull it out. And if I unscrew it, it's right there. And this is the new capacitor that I'm going to install it inside this old one. But before I install it, I always test it, make sure everything is okay with it. I don't want to install something inside and later on find out that it's not working. Pretty close to 0.05. So this one is working, so I'm going to install it. These are for the hot glue. So we're just going to cut in the middle of it. Okay. All right. done, finished. Now we're going to install this inside radio and then work on the next one. It's a little time consuming, but when you're finished, it's going to look great. So now it's going to be much easier to solder it and bring the camera show it to you. But actually, this slide is right inside. So now I can solder it much easier. So be able to solder it into the old connection. So later on, if anything happened, be easy to remove it. Now I want to measure and do the other side. What I did, this capacitor, take the case out of it, just trim a little bottom, then start taking it out. I like to save this and put it back again because it's the ratings on this capacitor is. So I took that out, and I'm going to measure it, to see. Of course, we measured this before, but I'm going to do it again. So to show you that what type of readings here we have, and see, it changes the capacitor. There is no reading. The first terminal, second terminal, and one of them supposed to be 20, another 10, and this one supposed to be 20. It's a 20, 20, 10, but as you see, there is no reading. All right, so I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to try to install all these new capacitor inside this case. I will show you how to do that. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut in this capacitor. So first, I'm going to do a mask tape. Is that necessary? No, not really, but I like to just do it correctly, I guess. Oh, this is the only process I know. Okay, folks, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut this capacitor to be able to install these three. There are two of them, about 20 each, and this one is a 10. It's going to install inside this. Okay, so what I did, I already put some masking tape here. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to put a line around here, something like this, and so I know where I need to cut. I don't want to cut it all the way in the bottom because then it's going to pop out. I want that to stay there. That's the reason I want to cut it. Then I will show you. You want to use the masking tape and fix it. I had this blade about years ago. Things are so small. A bunch of tar in there. I'm going to clean out those. So this is the capacitor. It's pretty interesting. Bring it close to you where you see it. Bring it to camera. See how it looks like. All right. See inside the can. Need to clean those as well. Maybe it's not necessary, but we will see. If you take this apart, it's very dried up. It's very interesting the way they made this thing those days. See, no wonder they were not working. It's all. This is pretty interesting. I just want to show you. Start unfolding this, and this is how they made them. It's like a paper and some type of foil. If you look at it, that's how it inside. Unfold them. That's how they made them. See, each layer. Just take each layer out. and the layer, each layer after a few layers is hooked up this way. Very interesting. Anyway, I just want to show you how these have been made. Very interesting. It's pretty thick too. Very thick material. Okay, the first one should be 10. Awesome. The second one, of course, is 20. And the next one is 20. Okay, so everything's working. I'm going to put it back together and back in the radio. Okay, folks, what's here is I made a small holes, around the wire. I don't know if you can see these wires. I run them right. The small holes, I use this little screwdriver, put a hole through it, run wires. So anyway, see the wires are going through. Right, those the holes are. Okay. These are the 3 capacitors that was installed. All right, and so I mark this cap. Find a mark right here, and this one right here. I'm going to close this. This is what's we're using for air conditioning for duct system and the AC. So I got some of this. I cut a small piece, as you see, and this is like I believe it's like a tinfoil. It's aluminum, I guess. So I wrap this around here in the bottom, so it's holding it very good together, very strong. And so just want to show you, looking pretty good. All right. All right, now the capacitor is in. Install it back, and again, it's always pay off to take a good notes, because after I remove this, oh gee, I have a mark to see which one was, I think it was 10 meg, or which log need to solder everything. And because I had a good note here, so this where the speaker is, this is the log that actually the ground going to be soldered to that of capacitor. So taking good note, folks, is pretty important. And again, there's so much detailed work. Sometimes if you don't have a good notes, it's going to cause a lot of issue. So I'm going to secure it in the position. Just bend it a little bit, just a little bit, so they don't come out. To secure it, this one is going to be difficult here. You see just what you do, just all this, you bend it a little bit. These are what it actually hold it to the, I call it chassis, right there. So there, it's not coming out anymore. Very secure in there, very strong. Now I have to put each wires back. Again, I took tons of notes how to do that. Again, I don't have a schematic, and easier this way, put it on paper. That way you're going to install everything back where it's supposed to be. It's me work on that. First I'm going to hook up the ground wire to this log. And here I'm removing all this speaker secondary wire, which it comes directly out of the speaker transformer. See the insulation all broke off. So I'm going to remove all this just for pulling it out that so it doesn't damage anything. Then installing this shrinking tube, already measured it and pre-cut. All right, perfect. These are speaker wires, as you see, secondary. I don't want this touch anywhere in chassis, because if it hit chassis, then going to create shortage. You might mess something up, and so it's best, use a new insulation on them. All right. Let's work in this speaker. As you can see, there are several holes, a couple of cracks in this speaker. Also, the center, the path to keep the dust out, is missing as well. And my apology, I cannot locate the video that I made to repair this speaker. Instead, I'm going to upload here another speaker that I worked, is the same size that I worked in the past, to explain the process that I'm taking to fix the speakers. This glue is really stiff, flexible. So I did this with several speakers and they work great, because finding these speakers is getting harder and harder. So it's best to repair them. So I don't have anything to replace the entire cone, but let me show you what I do. This actually, I add the glue in there, add some water. It gets little usually it's pretty thick, so I want to make it thin. And see, that is, it's like that. All right. So what I will do, I'm going to just drop this on the speaker cone and let it sit until it dry. Like, here's a crack. Like, that's all. So I'm going to do entire speaker, like this area, that is not in good condition, it's popping up. Try to level it like that and put some glue over it. All right, what I did is here I cut two small pieces of coffee filter, a little larger than these two holes. These two holes, as you see, there's one here. Of course, the other one, there is two holes. I pre-cut those, so I'm gonna install those here. The good thing about coffee filter is it's very thin, and also, you can make it to the shape that you're interested after, is so it gets a little wet, the glue get to it. What I'm doing, I'm pressing it down very gentle, so I get the same shape of the cone. So there's no gap between them. See those hold off flakes. When it dry, I'm going to put a little coating inside too. All right. So let us sit here for a while. What I did last night, I cover all silver area, and I respray this to a little like a goldish type respray this because it was too bright and wasn't I wasn't that happy with the painting it just one color. So I sprayed that, and today I came back, I used this pad and sand pretty lightly because I didn't want to be that shiny, so it looks much better now. It looks like at least pretty close to the original. It shows some age to it. It has that shine. If you look at beneath, you see this. It's nice. At least it's close to that one. All right. So again, I use that pad and sand it a little bit, very lightly, to take that, to really give it age the paint. See, that's how it looked like. Also, I did the same thing here. It was pretty shiny. I don't want it very shiny. And when I finish by this, it'd be as close to what original, chassis was. Anyway, so I'm going to put this aside. Let's take those shim out. So we're going to remove them. So it came out pretty easy. Again, because it's a 10-foil type, so the glue doesn't stay to it. Check to see if that pad it's set okay or not. I don't know if you can see it or not. See, it's perfect. That's better. See that pad? It's set perfect. So I don't need to worry about dust getting to there anymore. Everybody's looking awesome. Great, it's set perfect. And inside is done. Of course, here in the camera, you see those brown area, very brown, but looking at this way, it's not that obvious. There is no hole. All the holes are covered. And if I press here, see, I have the movement. Again, that glue made it flexible. It's looking great. Need to test it. This is done too. Today, really, I'm going to do assemble everything back together, and hopefully it works. I want to take the opportunity and thank you for taking your valuable time watching these videos. If you're interested to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to my channel, and you will be notified when new video being uploaded. You have a great day.